Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Marvel's Agent Carter. This time we're on episode 4, titled The Blitzkrieg Button. It's an ominous sounding button, quite the red button. But yeah, last time we had Time and Tide, and we saw Peggy and Jarvis working together to retrieve the Stark tech that had been stolen by Leviathan, which they did, and they left an anonymous tip to the SSR that ended up with the one guy who could blow Peggy's cover, and also Krasinski dying, because they were both being cleaned up as loose ends, because the other guy could have spoken about Leviathan's true intents, and he could also have blown Peggy's cover as a bonus. He did, to come Krasinski. He mentioned the English broad that could fight and throw punches and whatnot. But then the car bumped them, and then Krasinski got out to confront him, and then they both ended up dying. So that happened. But yeah, then we got a little bit of backstory to Jarvis, a bit of history to Jarvis about how he actually was sent out of the army with a dishonorable discharge because he forged some signatures on papers that would have actually gotten his wife Anna safe passage out of a war zone, her being Jewish and all. So he had a bit of a dishonorable discharge, so then that would have meant that him and Anna get deported from the US back to Britain and everything. So we found out that he had mentions of Anna and mentions of that period in his life brings out kind of a dark side to him, and it reminds him of what he went through to protect the one he loves and stuff like that. So I think we got a bit more layers. We got a bit more layers to Jarvis. He's not just that. He's not just like a lovable valet or anything like that. He actually is a guy with his own personal secrets and his own kind of troubles in life and stuff. So it was cool. But we got all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it was a fun episode. So looking forward to seeing what's next. But that is all I have. So episode 4, the Blitzkrieg Button. Let's go. Oh, someone caught it. Oh, nice. Death from above. That's my girl. Yeah. What is their package? Is there more Stark tech? No, it's Stark himself.
Did Mr. Mink have his minions blackmail you?
Peggy try down his goulash? Peggy, Jarvis know you can do 107 one-armed push-ups?
Howard, you came back to New York City risking notice from every American intelligence agency.
Ah, Griffith.
Yeah,
How's Miriam?
He can't... He knows Miriam. He knows Miss Miriam.
Nobody, including our own government, wants to talk about what really happened in Finale.
Experimentation to bring people back from the dead.
I'd let Garen give me a hickey if he get me to the bottom of this.
But what you must understand is that until a certain age, you do not know how to govern your own impulses, and that leaves me to defend young women from compulsion.
God forbid women discover who they are and what they like.
Your laundry?
My cousin is a lot shorter.
Yeah.
And much better looking. Come on, Peg. We got family business to discuss.
Oh, Christ. A magic pen.
A camera pen?
Oh, a camera.
A camera pen? I was expecting a little more
Damn, that is cool. A camera
pen.
pen.
How long it took me to figure out lens miniaturization?
Jeez,
I
wow.
don't have to get changed with the door
So
closed.
before smartphones, you have camera pens. Damn. I mean, obviously not as a fictional universe, but still, you get the gist. That's cool. Yeah. If we had camera pens before smartphones, that would have been really cool. Yeah.
So pick up your phones, make kissy noises to your wives, because we're not going home until we start cracking
Including you,
heads.
Peggy.
If you get tired,
call up Angie.
Marge, start taking the lunch orders.
Of course, yeah, the lunch orders. Poison his sandwich. Poison his fucking sandwich. Whoa, green fire. Green fire.
A bit of a challenge. Do you see this switch?
Oh, yeah.
Every time that I push this switch, I get a shock that runs.
Oh, blue fire now. Just multicolored fire. Multicolored fire. Yeah.
Oh, it must be some kind of...
Oh. Oh, damn.
Well, I win this hand, I guess.
Yeah, don't underestimate Sousa. Do not underestimate Sousa. That's assault. That's assault. Attempted assault of an SSR agent.
No one crosses me.
A revolving machine gun. Damn. A machine handgun.
You're back.
Oh, who was he sleeping with now?
You know Helen?
Oh, Helen.
Helen, my cousin Peggy.
Oh, Jesus. He's just sleeping his way up and down the floors.
Peggy, are you in there?
Sounds nice.
Stay away.
Hey, no, no.
Angie, I'm
No
feeling a little
making out with
under the
Angie.
Oh, Peggy, you should go.
She can do better.
I worry about you. You work too much. Bring me back some ham, would you? Preferably roasted. And some bread. And potatoes mashed. You know what I like. Surprise me.
Oh, that's all? We had bread, potatoes, ham and mash. That's all. Some peas and gravy on the side. Maybe some wine.
So,
Jesus.
that's when I realized they weren't clapping for me. They were clapping for this and this. Clapping because I make them feel guilty. And they want to feel good. You
So
think because I'm wearing a suit and I got a clean shave, we're different?
performative. It's all performative.
We're both people nobody cares about.
Carol wants to put a whole chicken down her sweater.
My mom did a special chicken pocket.
Lori's got a compartment in her pocket.
I need that sweater. I need that sweater.
What would you look
A sweater, clothes that can keep food.
I'm going to eat in my room. I have the last 5 pages of the new Agatha Christie. Good night.
Damn.
Could you make me one of those that holds pickles?
God damn.
All of my inventions are in your lab. London was antsy about Germany dropping bombs on her. So I created the Blitzkrieg Button.
The Blitzkrieg Button.
Press the button, and you get an instant citywide blackout.
Oh, like an
Bombers
EMP.
can't see where to unload.
Oh, like a
So
massive
essentially, it's a
EMP.
glorified light switch.
Don't let me be the guy who shut down the greatest city on the planet.
I think people who live outside of New York might have arguments towards that, against that, even. But I'll let them have this one.
All American cow.
A cheeseburger.
Thompson, that's enough. Smells good.
Oh, he's tempting him with food and drink. Tempting him with food and drink. Oh.
It tastes even better.
Agent, you should leave.
Oh, he's a dick.
I'll tell you what.
He's a dick.
You tell us what you saw at the boatyard. This is all yours.
There was a guy. Duds all fancy. He was with a woman. They got on and off the boat before police showed up.
Yep. Food and drink is all his. Yep, the scotch, the burger.
At least the Blitzkrieg button isn't like nitramine. If I was to accidentally activate it, no one would get hurt.
Oh, he has a towel. He has a towel.
And then we can all stop
Yeah, pulling the air. That's his towel. Whoa.
Cyanide.
Oh, cyanide.
You get a painless death, and nobody gets a satisfaction. Of
Oh,
watching you
that
die.
kind of escape. That kind of escape.
No.
Bodies piled high and ripped apart.
Damn.
Whoever attacked them was long gone.
Breath mint.
Oh, he's giving the guards cyanide
Wasted our
too.
time and duly scotch.
Yeah, taking out anyone who might notice. Peggy. Yeah, 2 switches. One to open it, another to fully activate it, another button to fully... Well, not a button. Is that blood? That's a vial of blood. Tony Howard was keeping blood inside the Blitzkrieg?
No man will ever consider you an equal. It's sad, but it doesn't make it any less true.
Times change, dickwad.
I can always come to you.
Evolution is a thing.
Good night.
The way he expresses that so non-canon too, like, oh, no man will ever treat you like an equal. Just the way things are. The way things are, my fucking ass.
Tell me.
Steve Rogers' blood.
Steve's... It's Steve's blood. Why is he keeping Steve's blood in a vial?
I have some flowers.
Because his genetic code contains the secrets to the super soldier serum. Oh, jeez.
I was one of the lead scientists on Project Rebirth.
11
vials went to the government, 1 vial went to me. Does
Why?
the SSR know they have the vial?
Why shouldn't they have it?
Just because he's the lead scientist?
The government's almost. Captain America's blood holds the key to vaccines, medications, possible even a cure for the common cold. Steve Rogers may not still be with us, but he can still save millions of people.
And how many millions of dollars are you set to make? Steve Rogers dedicated his mind, his body, his life to the SSR and to this country, not to your bank account. I made the same pledge, but I'm not as good as Steve was. I forgot my pledge, running around for you like a corporate spy.
Are you looking for Peggy?
Return to your
No,
room,
don't
please.
kill her, don't kill her, don't kill her, do not kill her.
Is that pistol an automatic? I want that.
She knows her guns. Wait, isn't... Isn't that Dottie? That's Dottie from the last episode, the one who just moved in.
Over the last 5 years, I thought I'd built up a callus apologizing for you. But this stings.
You really screwed the pitch
Hey.
this time, huh?
Could I borrow the sports section? Thank you.
Stop. 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 Oh. Oh, Stan the man, Lee. The angel, the god, the creator, the man himself.
One day after our supposed battle, the plane lands. Guess who's on it? Howard Stark.
Howard Stark.
What was the scotch? Make it a double.
One day after the battle, so he brought
We got
them
ourselves a
back?
conspiracy.
What? Okay, that's very that's very freaky. Oh, she's got the automatic pistol now. And she's hidden the body. Damn, Dottie ain't to be messed around with.
I'll meet you downstairs in a jiffy.
Yeah, there's more to Dottie than meets the eye. She's a woman who knows her stuff. Oh, someone's writing back. Someone's writing back. It's a ghost. A ghost in the machine. Oh, damn. I love that music. I love that music. Okay. Okay. Alright. End of that episode. Damn, so the vial. The vial is Steve's blood. Steve Rogers' blood. In a vial. I can't say I saw that twist coming. I think... Well, I mean, the more I thought about it, I thought, you know, would there be a connection between the blood and Howard? Like, he likely wouldn't really keep some random person's blood in there. That would just be weird. But, you know, like, there had to be a connection. So the more I thought about it, and until that he actually revealed it was, like, Steve's blood, I was like, has to be someone he knows. Has to be someone, you know, like, it's some case where the blood is useful. So then right before he actually said Steve's name, I was like, you know, could it be that kind of a twist? And then he actually said Steve Rogers' blood. So yeah, so he has one vial, the government has a bunch of others. The government having them make sense, but he was one of the lead scientists. He was one of the lead scientists on Project Rebirth, and if Erskine was still alive... I mean, to be honest, if Erskine was still alive, I don't think they'd need the blood, because, like, the blood, I mean, my first thought was what Peggy said to Steve in the first Avenger, like, you know, that blood, Steve's blood contains the genetic code. Like, his blood contains the you know, like... Whatever actually makes the serum is locked in Steve's genetic code. So Steve's blood holds the secrets, literally, to whatever makes the super soldier serum work. So, you know, like, Howard is the lead scientist. There are a bunch of other team members who did, but, you know, we don't know how many of them are still alive or how many made it back after the war. So there's no really telling how many more people are left to actually work on it. But even then, even if that's the case, I think right now they're not really focusing on making super soldiers specifically, because that would be a much more, like, you know, lengthy project that would take a lot of time to reach seemingly impossible goals, even after they've already accomplished it. So now he said the goal is to actually use it to actually see, because the serum enhanced all of his cells beyond just strength. It gave him enhanced regeneration, gave him resistance to, you know, different things, and strengthened it, like, every cell in his body in some way, more than just making him the expert soldier. You know, it gave him a lot of resistance, a lot of tolerance for things. So it can very easily, it could very easily become the cure for a lot of different illnesses and diseases that the average human body can't make on its own. and stuff like that. So yeah, but then he didn't tell Peggy that. Peggy was shocked. Peggy was. I mean, I wonder if she actually. I mean, she probably did know, but she needed that verbal confirmation from Howard himself, like, to know, because I think even for her, that was her kind of thought process. Like, why would he have blood, like, randomly sitting in this button? Like, it was a lie. Like, there was really no Blitzkrieg button, or maybe there was, but in this case, it was just a cover up for what he was really holding, so it wasn't going to turn anything off. And thank God she caught out the lies from, Jarvis's tell, him pulling his ear, so she knew that, it wasn't just one switch to open the thing, and then another to actually, and then it was one switch, but one switch to open it, and then to actually pop out the vial itself. So no EMPs, no blackouts, nothing like that. So yeah, so I think once she saw the blood, she knew it had to be something personal to Howard. It had to be the blood of someone he knew, or like it had to serve some kind of purpose that he knew about. So it wouldn't just be some random person's blood, and you'd only keep that kind of blood if it was special, if it was different from the average human being's blood, if it had some kind of enzyme or some kind of special qualities or properties to it. So yeah, and in this. Like in that day and age, the most recent scientific and medical miracle is Steve Rogers' blood, the blood of the super soldier, the one who actually had the strength of 100,000 men and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so the government has theirs. The government has a bunch in their own custody, and then Howard, being the lead scientist on this project, has his own special little batch. So yeah, but then obviously Peggy feels like he used her to get all of his stuff back, but in the end, understandably, in the end, this was his ultimate goal, to get back the Blitzkrieg button, because that was the one piece of tech with something far more valuable than technology inside it. It actually had the blood of Steve Rogers, so like in the wrong hands, that would be catastrophic and stuff. So yeah, and especially in the hands of Leviathan, who knows what they'd do. But yeah, so she just feels like she's been used to actually get back the blood. He was never even going to tell her. He was never even going to tell her. He lied to her in the first place. Told her it was like a massive EMP that was going to wipe out all of New York's light. And he didn't expect her to actually ask questions to Jarvis about what it really was, and for her to catch him out on his tells, and to actually discover what it really was in the end. So he had no plans of telling her. He told her something completely different to begin with. So yeah, that he's really screwed the pooch. He's really screwed the pooch this time. So I think now Peggy has it in her custody. She didn't give it back to him. She has it in her custody. She smashed a hole in the wall, took out some bricks, and hid it behind the bricks. So yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna stay safe there for. Don't know how long it's gonna be that there's gonna be much of a secure place. But either way, hopefully it works. Hopefully it actually does work, and hopefully they can do something with it. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with it, because I mean, besides from feeling like she's been lied to, I don't know what Peggy's stance on this matter is. I think she might be. She may well be. She may well be of the mindset that blood is too dangerous to be in anyone's hands, good or bad. It's too dangerous to be in anyone's hands, and I think that's even more of a solid and more secure of a stance to take, knowing that after World War II, they actually did Operation Paperclip, which was when they recruited German scientists of strategic value, aka one of them being Arnim Zola. So if she gave into the SSR, if they took into their custody, and then Arnim Zola, after he's recruited, gets into this custody, he identifies what it is. I don't know. He probably managed to build something that poisons Steve's blood, or I don't know. But he came up with Project Insight. He came up with Project Insight for the future. So God knows what he would do with superhuman blood. But yeah, in Peggy's hands, I think it's probably safest is where it's at right now, and she very likely does believe that no person deserves this blood in any way. Like no one deserves to actually work on this blood. This blood is sacred. It's got secrets to it that we, as of right now, don't really, don't accurately know how to actually experiment with or find out more and more about. So, yeah, I don't know, but that was that stuff. So the vial, Steve's blood, and I think it's got much more sentimental value to her as well. Like he was the love of her life. He was the love of her life. So keeping, it's the one biological thing she literally has left of him now. His blood. I mean, blood. Yeah, I mean it's in like an airtight vial. It's in an airtight vial, so it's not really gonna run dry. It's still fresh, probably as fresh as the day they took it. So it's mint condition, super salted blood. I don't know how to describe it, but it's the one thing she's got left of him. You know, he has the compass. He has that in the future. He has that compass with the newspaper cut out, or the picture cut out of her in it. He has that. So now she has his blood, so she can keep that in her walls, and just that's that. So yeah, I think she's probably just gonna end up keeping it in her walls until a more controversial plot point comes along and she's forced to actually do something with it or hide it somewhere even more secure. But yeah, we'll find out what that is. We had Stan Lee. We had the Stan Lee cameo. That was really unexpected. That was really, really cool. I didn't think we would be getting it this soon. I don't know when it. I think it came. I'm thinking about like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That came. I remember when it came. Actually, I remember when it came because I think another thing happened in that episode. Daisy got shot by Quinn in that episode. That shook me. That took me out the game for a good while. But it was in that episode, like at the beginning of the episode when they're on the train. Stanley was on the train with the cameo talking to Coulson and Simmons. So that was really cool. I remember because of all the crap that went down in that episode. But yeah, this is pretty early. I mean, it's all good still. It's all good. It's all really, really, really fun. Stan, he's just even in his cameos, he's just that kind of chill, kind of cool guy. So it pains me to think that he never would have seen the end of it. He never would. I mean, I think he died before Endgame came out. I mean, I'm hoping he actually got a chance to see at the very least some kind of rough cut, because the rough cut would still contain what's in the final cut. It's just the final cut doesn't contain most of what's in the rough cut. So I'm hoping he saw some sense of a finished product before he tragically passed away. But yeah, it was cool to see him. It was really, really cool to see him. We had Dottie. I didn't register who she was at first. I couldn't tell who she was. I thought she was just like another person. But then she actually clocked it. Like, she didn't even look terrified at the guy having the gun. She was just like, oh, is that gun automatic? Does it fire bullets in a revolver fashion? Is it like a 9mm or I don't know how guns are. I don't know what. I mean, I know there are different types of bullets. Like a 9mm, there's a 12mm, there's calibers. But I don't know. I don't know gunology. I don't know ballistic. I don't know gun terminology. I don't know what's the accurate way to say things. But she did. She identified that as a gun with bullets and functionality. So she knew what she was talking about, and she wasn't even afraid. I mean, not only was she afraid, she was more than ready to fight back. She started doing like a wall running and kick flips off the wall, and then she snapped the guy's neck with her thighs. She snapped his neck with her thighs. Like that's a scissor kick killer move that Black Widow could use, but she doesn't because in the present day she doesn't kill people. Well, she does if the situation calls for it. But yeah, that was awesome. She killed the guy with her thighs. So damn cool. But yeah, and then she stashed his body away. Didn't even dispose of it. She just stashed it away under her night table and her dressing table. And then she took his gun for herself. She took his gun and was admiring it and holding it and stuff. So there's more to Dottie Underwood than meets the eye. I remembered her name was Dottie, and then now I just remembered her name was Underwood. So yeah, she was one introduced to us last episode even. But yeah, there is more to her than meets the eye. There is much more to her than meets the eye, which makes me anxious anxious to see her crossing paths with Peggy. Like, how are they going to cross paths? Because clearly now there is also a backstory to Dottie that we don't know about yet. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen when she actually meets Peggy as Peggy and not just another resident at this motel, at this hotel even. So yeah, like once she finds out that Peggy actually works at the SSR and she's a super spy and she fought Captain America, like once she finds out who Peggy really is, I'm anxious to see what that kind of clash is like, especially if we have a thing where she discovers and they both discover each other maybe, but then they actually have to maintain their cover of actually living at the hotel with each other, and they have to just have these really, really awkward hall passes and all these different conversations with other ladies within earshot. They have to have all these really passive aggressive death threats at each other or something. I don't know, but it's gonna be cool to see what happens after that. But yeah, Dottie is a badass. Do not mess with Dottie. The main guy, the main SSR dude, I forgot his name already. He gave Mueller an escape deal. I thought he was really gonna actually have him released, but then that would be impossible because he's already on death row. So that would be next to impossible. But he gave him the dignity of his own painless way out, his own painless way out, instead of actually being hung like a corpse for everyone to see. He actually got his own way out, and he even gave one to the guard too. So yeah, that's really weird. He just has like a watch of cyanide pills, like a fake watch, probably a fake watch with cyanide pills inside. So yeah, for some reason he just has that in case he needs to go to any other far off lands and give other death row prisoners an easier way out. He just has that. But no, he gave the guy cyanide, and we had some interesting information about the Battle of Finau. That the Germans didn't do it. The Nazis did not do it. Like, someone else killed the Russians. Like, someone else massacred them. They're like, the bodies were piled up high, and they were torn apart. The bodies were not intact in any way whatsoever. So someone massacred them and then left before they could get there. But then one day after the battle, the travel logs showed that Howard flew there. Howard flew there one day after the battle. So then that raises the question: what was he doing there? Like, because then that kind of infers that he found the massacre. He found the bodies. Maybe he did something with them. I don't know. It doesn't seem like something Howard would do. But then again, Howard lied about having Steve's blood in a vial. I mean, that's a lot less murderous. It's a lot less murderous. But still, what I mean, unless he was invited there. Unless someone else got there after the Nazis left. The Nazis went there, found the massacre, found that there was nothing for them to do, so they left, maybe. And then after that, someone was still there, who then invited Stark over to see what he could make of all this. Maybe. Yeah, so maybe he didn't fly there of his own accord. He was actually invited there to find out what happened and what could be done. Maybe so. But I guess we'll see. But yeah, that is super weird. I think the two guys there. The two guys that Leet Brannis and the other dude, the two who were reported to have died at the Battle of Finau, but then they came back to life and they were in modern day or present day New York, in 40s New York. They reportedly died at the Battle of Finau, but whether or not they were, I think it's presumable that they were actually among the bodies. They were actually among them, because I think the other guy did have like a scar. Like, I think both of those dudes had actually had scars. So them being ripped apart, they're probably beheaded and then had the rest of their limbs separated too. And then they had the voice mods put in too, because they couldn't properly make them talk again, so they actually had voice modulators put in to help them talk after their heads were separated. So yeah, they were both among the massacred at Finau. And then they were brought back to life, and then they were probably Leviathan. Then could have been Leviathan. Yeah, could have been like either Leviathan members within the Nazi army, or once the Nazis left, then Leviathans went there, they found the massacre, and then they but then that would mean that Howard had contact with Leviathan. I mean, if he was invited there, then that would mean that he had contact with Leviathan, maybe without knowing that they were Leviathan. I don't know. It feels sketchy coming up with these theories when when it doesn't really sound like any of it actually makes sense. But I think maybe that's the plot of this season, of this show, maybe of this season as a whole. Like people do things that don't really make sense. And Howard, he even said, he doesn't come from a rich background. He never came from a rich background. His parents were like working class / lower class, and he came from like the low east side of New York, of Manhattan. So he had to actually. So he justified it by saying it's how he learned to actually lie, to actually get better at what he was doing and to keep doing what he was doing. So yeah, but I don't know. Maybe he's lying about this too. Maybe he was actually invited by Leviathan to study the bodies and to see if there was anything he could do, or maybe he actually gave his expertise to someone else. I don't know, but we'll find out. But he went there. He went to the Battle of Finau afterwards, or maybe someone else used his name. Maybe someone else used his identity. Maybe someone else stole his plane. And then used his identity to actually be there. Okay, that one makes more sense. That one, given who Leviathan are and what they're willing to do, it makes more sense that Leviathan would do that. Like, they'd actually get a spy to work undercover as Howard Stark, steal his plane, fly to Finau under his alias. So yeah, maybe. But yeah, no, I actually really enjoyed seeing Howard back. It was really fun seeing Howard back. Again, in the movies, he's here and there. I think Dominic Cooper's Howard Stark is mostly there in the First Avenger. Yeah, I think the First Avenger is the First Avenger is Dominic Cooper's Howard Stark appearance, and then everything after that is done by another guy, an older guy, to actually show that Howard Stark himself is also prone to aging. But yeah, seeing his Howard Stark, seeing Howard Stark as him, and this is really really cool. Seeing him come back, and just seeing that much more development from him, and like the actual friendship between him and Peggy, like him asking her for her aid and her helping him out and stuff. So seeing him back with school and actually having this whole dilemma too, like him having lied to her and actually kept Steve's blood a secret from her of all people, is an interesting development to see how that kind of carries on through the season. And seeing him as soon as he gets back to the hotel, he just starts sleeping. He just starts sleeping with all the ladies. He just starts, like I think it's like one when he first got there and he snuck out the laundry crate and then started making out with another girl. And then the second one, when she actually gets back to the hotel, she actually finds him again having slept with another girl. So two girls, two different. I mean, knowing him, there's likely 5 more off screen, but I mean, Miss Miriam would have got. He knows Miss Miriam. He knows her somehow. He knows, like, oh, how's Miriam doing? But yeah, I mean, seeing him like this, it just reminded me of Steve's line from Civil War, being like, oh, I'm glad he got married. I only knew Howard when he was young and single. So this is very much the same Howard Stark. Just young, single, enjoying the single life, just being all charming and flirtatious with different ladies and catching them out and stuff. So yeah, it's cool to see that promiscuity. But yeah, and then Miss Miriam's line kind of bothered me, being like, oh, these young ladies are all vulnerable and naive towards sexuality and discovering themselves and being with other people. So she's there to protect their virtue and stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, it's the 40s, so like it's a product of its time. Back in that time, people had that mindset and stuff. Like it was like gender roles and stuff were just a lot more heavily enforced. As we see, it's one of the the focal points of Peggy's character in this show. Like even in this, when she's hiding in the interrogation room, Thompson is just completely unnerved about mentioning that. Like it's being a woman, these men will never respect you. The most you'll get to do is take their lunch orders, bring them their food, take phone calls maybe, and then that's it. So it's really kind of showing off how the 40s is really a product of its own time. Like, people are given these little boxes to fit into, and they are not really given much other choice. So I am very much looking forward to seeing how Peggy smashes her way out of those boxes and shows that she's much more than what they see her as and whatever she is. So I'm looking forward to seeing Peggy breaking those down. I mean, she already is. She was a female officer in the army. She fought alongside Captain America himself. She was given that kind of high... in the army, she was given that kind of high honors. Like, she was actually working closely with the people in charge of the entire project and stuff. And then after the war, she's, demoted down to the phone call lady and the lunch order lady. So, yeah, I am looking forward to seeing how she breaks forth. And Dottie seems to be like a take no shit, give hits as much as you can kind of woman. So I think as much as they're gonna clash, because I think. Yeah, I mean, she's clearly not with them. She's not with Leviathan because she killed one of their assassins. So I'm wondering if that means that she's actually gonna end up working with Peggy. I would love to see a team up. I would like if she actually is on Peggy's side, if she's on the SSR side. I would love to see a team up between Dottie and Peggy. It's them two back to back kicking ass. That would be awesome to see. But something tells me that there's more to her than meets the eye in a very dark way, in a dangerous way. So I'm not keeping my hopes up too high, but I do look forward to seeing her kick more ass. But yeah, that kind of sexism is very, very apparent in this show, and I think they're not really sugarcoating it because it's not a time where you can sugarcoat it. This wasn't a time where people tried to hide it. If people thought that you were too unfit for this because of who you are and what you are, then they weren't afraid to hide it. So I'm again they're not hiding that kind of prejudice. So I don't know if that's a good thing. They're actually showing the world for what it really was at the time, and to this day what it still kind of is, even though we've actually gone a lot further than they were. But we'll see. Peggy is the hero we need. In this day and age. She's the hero we need. So, yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got from this episode. It was a fun one. It was a very, very fun one. It was chock full of plot twists. More the one plot twist of Steve's blood in the vial. So I'm looking forward to seeing where we go from here in that regard, what Peggy actually does end up deciding to do with the blood, how she, maybe if she reconciles with Howard, maybe actually if Howard actually apologizes. I think, Howard clearly needs to apologize to her for what he did. So I look forward to that. And even Jarvis said it this time, you really messed up this time, so you need to actually think about what you've done and all that kind of stuff. So interested to see where this is all going. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from this episode. So that was episode 4 of season 1 of Marvel's Agent Carter, titled The Blitzkrieg Button. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is next time on Agent Carter. The uncut reaction, for those of you who want it, will be up on Patreon, so you can go check that out there. And yeah, that's it. So, I will see you guys next time.